Hornets, they're a nuisance, they're annoying by nature. And I can imagine that is exactly what Honda's competitors are thinking as this bike stings its way into the middleweight market at a smidge under £7,000. Now in this video we're going to walk around the bike, we're going to get nice and close, talk about the specifications, we're going to see what it's like to sit on it as a 5'4" individual, and just generally give the Hornet a good going over. Now if you're interested in that, stick around and stay tuned, and at a later date my first impressions are going to come along with pillion impressions as well, given the fact that it's not so easy to ride at the moment. See you guys after the intro. So one of the things that I want to touch on firstly is the engine. Now this has kind of maybe upset a few purists out there who were expecting the Honda Hornet 750 to maybe be an inline four just like before, but now it is a parallel twin. Not only is it a parallel twin, but it actually utilises the 270-degree crank, so it sounds much more like a V-twin than the 180 cranks do. So in terms of figures, we have 90 brake horsepower from this engine, we have 75 newton meters of torque, and even though its name suggests that it's a 750, it is actually a 755cc short stroke 8-valve engine. One thing that I think is important to talk about on the Honda Hornet 750 is the styling. Now it looks very modern, it looks very angular. Some people have also compared it to looking like a KTM 790 in terms of how it looks, and at first I couldn't really see it myself, but walking to it in the garage, you know, from the back angle, I'm starting to see similarities with that, so I can understand that opinion now. The angular shape of the Honda Hornet is down to a team of young designers at Honda's Rome R&D facility with the input of the Japanese development engineers. They say that the tank was designed to kind of mirror a Hornet's wing, but I don't personally know whether that's just kind of marketing bump or whether it actually does. I'm no expert on Hornet's wings, but let me know what you think about that in the comments. Whilst we're on the topic of aesthetics, Honda have lent me this bike in matte iridium grey metallic, but it does also come in 3 other colours. We have graphite black, we have pearl glare white, and we have the signature matte goldfinch yellow. Other aesthetic things to note, as well as safety features I suppose, is the LED lights that this bike gets all round. The hardware of this bike in terms of suspension, in terms of brakes. At the front of the bike we have 41mm Showa SFF BP upside down non-adjustable forks, and at the rear we have a ProLink rear shock, and again there's no adjustability with this one. Brakes on the front of this bike, we have twin discs, which is nice to see, and we have 4-piston radially mounted Nissan front calipers. So the Honda Hornet has a seat height of 795mm. Now I personally think that is a very, very low and accessible seat height, especially given the fact that I used to own a 2019 Triumph Street Triple 765 RS, and that seat height was 820mm. So the fact that this is under 800mm is going to open it up to a whole host of stumpy little legged individuals like myself. As I've mentioned in many of my previous videos, I am a 5'4" human and I have a 29-inch inseam or inside leg measurement. The weight of this bike, we're working with 190 kilograms, and that is the wet weight. And we have a super lightweight chassis as well, which just adds to the lightness of the bike. This is what it's like for me to sit on this bike. So guys, as you can see, I pretty much have flat feet. was to stop at traffic lights, I'm not really all that bothered about having 2 feet down. That's not important to me. So if I was to just scooch my bum over a little bit, I really have got a proper bend and a flat foot. Like if my hips to the side, again, I've got a flat foot on this side. It really is quite a small, low bike, in my opinion. Whilst I'm sat on the bike, I'm just going to talk you guys through riding position. So it is your typical naked bike, your typical sort of street fightery vibe. You've got bars that are quite upright. I'm not leant forward, I'm not super up like this. It's just quite neutral and pretty pleasant. How much my knee bends on this bike is super comfortable. I don't feel too cramped, I don't feel too stretched. I don't feel like I'm going to get hip cramp anytime soon. So yeah, it's pretty well suited to my size. Honda boast that this bike hits the market at a pound under £7,000, which is leaps and bounds cheaper than its competitors. And I think is the reason that it has caught a lot of people's attention. Now, of course, that's the starting price, and what you get for that starting price is a phenomenal package, in my opinion. This bike that I've been kindly lent by Honda is £8,650. So what's different on this to the base model? Well, we have the SC Projects can, which is sold to you by Honda, by the dealers, if you want that as an extra. You don't have to go to SC Project direct. It's almost like their optional aftermarket type jobby, if that makes sense. So like with BMW, you could have a standard can on your GS, or you could fit it with an Akrapovic, and that would be done all at the dealership and ordered in by the dealership. It's the same situation with the relationship with Honda and SC Project. So if you want an end can, and it is purely an end can, it's £900. This bike specifically is fitted with the sports package, which is £555. What do you get with the sports package? Well, you get the quick shifter and auto blipper, you get the seat cowl instead of a pillion seat, but you still obviously get the pillion pegs just in case you want to pop a seat on there. But you get the cowl, you get a little screen at the front as well, and you also get these fancy spandangly foot pegs, which are different to the OEM standard pegs that don't come with the sport pack. There are also 2 other packs available that you can add when you buy this bike. You have the style package, which is going to set you back £410, and then you have the touring pack, which is going to set you back £765. In the style pack, you get wheel stickers, you get frame sliders, you get a tank pad, you get the aluminium upper handlebar clamp, and you also get really nice red bar end weights as well. If you're interested in the touring pack, I think this is pretty good for what you get. You get a 3 litre tank bag, you get a seat bag, and you get hard panniers as well. As with anything, the packs are kind of designed to save you money from a manufacturer's perspective. If you can get 4 things lumped together, it's going to be cheaper than if you bought them all individually. Now, not everybody wants every single item that's in the pack, so you can purchase the accessories separately. For example, you can get the tank pad, £31, frame sliders, £183. You can have the sports seat at £100. You can have heated grips, which I think are pretty much an essential if you live in the UK. They're going to set you back £255, which I think is pretty reasonable for heated grips, given some manufacturers charge £400 for those bad boys. Seat cowl, £190. The aluminium upper handlebar clamp, £96. You can have fancy bar and weights at £48 for a pair. Wheel stickers at 40 quid. Sports screen, £84. Sports pegs, £84. And then you've got a few touring items like the rear seat bag, £120. You've got the pannier set, £620. 3 litre tank bag, £88, and a quick shifter and auto blipper at 240. I've talked a lot now about the Honda Hornet, the specs, the accessories, things like that, but one thing that I want to do a little bit of a deep dive into, and one of the most, I would say, premium features on such an inexpensive machine, is the 5-inch TFT dash. This is what the Honda Hornet's 5-inch TFT looks like when it is illuminated. Now on the screen, as you can see, we've got the time at the top, we've got the temperature at the top right, we have the mode nice and bold. Now this bike has a few modes. We have standard mode, we have sport mode, we have rain mode, and we also have a user mode as well. If you look underneath where it says standard mode, it shows you P, EB and T. Now very much like the CB1000R Black Edition, the P stands for power, the EB stands for engine braking, and the T stands for torque. When you put the bike in different modes, different levels will be engaged, and it will show you on the outer parameter of the circle where it's blue. Underneath that you have a gear indicator, which is nice and visible, and at the side of that you can see that it says QS because the quick shifter is engaged. There's an up and down arrow just to show you and remind you, if you forget, that it is bi-directional, which is quite a nice touch. If we look to the left of that slightly, we have the miles an hour, and then above the miles an hour there is the fuel gauge. And then at the bottom you just have a customizable strip where you can choose what you want to see. If we want to deep dive into the TFT settings, you press and hold the right button and it will take you to this. Now you have 4 selectable categories, and then inside each of them it will display a list of the options that you have. So we're currently in function, we have riding mode. If we press across, this is where you can really fine-tune the user mode, because of course on the switch gear we have a mode button, so when you're on the go you can just change it, but if you go into riding mode in the settings you can fine-tune what power you have access to, what engine braking you have access to, what torque you have access to. Back on this screen, if you have a quick shifter with the bike, you can really fine-tune the severity of the quick shifter. So you've got the up shifter, you've got the down blipper, and you can also choose whether you have it soft, whether you don't have it engaged at all, whether you have it medium, or whether you have it hard. Then if we go down, you've got shift point, you've got self-cancelling turn signals, so you can switch them on or off, because I know they're not everybody's cup of tea. If you go down again, you have trip A auto reset, and here you have the Honda immobilizer as well. If we go back and go down into display, we have the display type. So if we go over, you can have it in type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. So you can really see what you want to see. Now I'm quite happy with type 1 at the moment, so I'm just going to leave it on that. Brightness, you can control it, it's scalable 1 to 8, but I just currently have it on auto. Then you have the option of background, so if we select background, it's currently in metallic, which gives the look of the dash a very metallic background. And if we go up, you can select black. And then we have favourite information, which relates to those 4 bars that you can see. Again, you can really go into them, you can have them blank, you can have them say whatever you really want to see. If we go across now to general, we've got time and date, we've got unit, we have language, we have restore default. A 5-inch TFT can be used with Honda's smartphone voice control system for connectivity, and you do that via Honda's Road Sync app. And then finally you have service, so you have maintenance, which tells you when it's due a service. You have equipment, so here we can see that the bike has a quick shifter and it's on, but it doesn't have heated grips. We have QS initialized, we have DCT, we have regulatory, but to be honest I don't really ever delve into those. So Honda's throttle is throttle by wire, and for the modes you have sport, standard and rain, as well as the user, as we know. And you can also fine-tune Honda's selectable torque control and wheelie control as well. The bike also has a slipper clutch, which is very handy for aggressively downshifting. So another great thing to know about this bike, it is actually A2 compliant, so it can be restricted by a Honda dealership via the ECU so that you can ride this on an A2 license. Then once your A2 license restrictions are up, Honda can actually de-restrict it again via an ECU flash at the dealership, and you will be allowed to roam free with all 90 brake horsepower. Something that I think is quite important to mention is that when you buy a new bike from Honda, including the Honda Hornet, you do get a Data Tool Stealth S5 tracking unit thrown in. Now this doesn't include fitting, and it doesn't include the yearly or monthly subscription, but you do get the unit. Now fear not guys, if you don't have a brand new Honda that you're going to buy, but you do still want a Data Tool Stealth S5 tracker, in my video description below there is a link which will save you guys £50 off a unit, and that is in channel sponsorship collaboration with Data Tool. So if you're interested, hit that description link. So guys and girls, I hope you have enjoyed this walk round vlog on Honda's Hornet 750. Now I do have more videos on this bike in the pipeline. We're talking a proper first ride impression from myself, maybe even a separate vlog where Mike rides and I give you some pillion impressions on the comfort of this thing, because Honda have kindly sent out a pillion seat, not knowing whether I was going to be able to ride for a while, so that's kind of cool of them. And then hopefully I will be taking this bike to the Peak District to meet up with my friend Lily. You guys may know her as Duke of Blonde. If you want to see more videos like this, or you want to see something that you haven't seen me do before, let me know in the comments below. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps my channel, it helps me grow, and I'm forever grateful. Right guys, until the next time, take care and ride safe. Bye! Specifically when you compare it against something like my 2019 Triumph Street Triple RS that I had, that had a seat height of 280. No it didn't, 280, I'd be scraping the bloody floor. What the heck? I hope that's accurate, else I might have just made myself seem like a freak. So this bike is spitted, no it's not spitted, it's fitted. If we go, oh Jesus geese, calm down. Ha 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 ha, ain't you funny? No, you're all dildos.